The 2024 U.S. presidential election is shaping up to be one of the most consequential in recent history. With the stakes higher than ever, voters are faced with a clear choice between two distinct visions for America. While many discussions focus on the candidates' personalities or past controversies, today we're diving deep into the policies that matter most. This is a no-bias video, providing a straightforward comparison of Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump on key issues that will define the future of the nation. Kamala Harris, the first female Vice President of the United States, has made history not only as a woman of color, but also as a fierce advocate for progressive policies. Born in Oakland, California, she has a background as a senator and attorney general, focusing on issues such as criminal justice reform, healthcare, and climate change. Harris has positioned herself as a champion of social justice, aiming to create a more equitable society through comprehensive reforms. On the other hand, Donald Trump, the 45th president, is known for his America First approach, emphasizing deregulation, tax cuts, and a strong stance on immigration. A businessman turned politician, Trump's policies are often characterized by their focus on economic growth and national security. His administration was marked by significant tax reforms and a controversial approach to foreign relations, making him a polarizing figure in American politics. When it comes to the economy, the candidates present starkly different visions. Harris advocates for increased taxes on the wealthy and corporations to fund social programs aimed at reducing income inequality. She supports measures to combat inflation, including childcare tax credits, raising the minimum wage, and investing in green energy initiatives. Harris believes that a robust economy should benefit all citizens, not just the affluent, and aims to create a sustainable economic model that prioritizes working families. Conversely, Trump emphasizes tax cuts and deregulation as key to stimulating economic growth. He argues that lowering taxes will allow businesses to thrive and create jobs, which he claims will ultimately benefit all Americans. Under his administration, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 significantly reduced corporate tax rates, which he argues led to increased investment and job creation. Trump also criticizes current inflation levels as a failure of the Biden administration, asserting that his policies would have kept the economy on a stronger growth trajectory. On immigration, Harris supports a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, advocating for humane treatment of migrants and reforming the immigration system to prioritize family reunification. She believes in addressing the root causes of migration, such as violence and poverty in home countries, and has proposed increasing funding for humanitarian aid and asylum processing. Trump, however, takes a hardline stance on immigration, advocating for stricter border controls and increased deportations. He has proposed measures to build a wall along the southern border and eliminate sanctuary cities, framing his policies as essential for national security. Trump argues that illegal immigration undermines American jobs and safety, and he has consistently called for the enforcement of existing immigration laws. His administration's policies aim to reduce the number of refugees and asylum seekers entering the U.S., reflecting his commitment to a more restrictive immigration framework. Fracking is another contentious issue in the election. Harris has expressed support for transitioning to renewable energy sources, calling for a reduction in fossil fuel dependence, including fracking. She emphasizes environmental protection and the need to combat climate change, advocating for investments in clean energy technologies and infrastructure. Harris has also supported legislation aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions and promoting sustainable practices in various industries. Trump, in contrast, champions fracking as a means to achieve energy independence and economic growth. He argues that reducing regulations on fossil fuels is crucial for job creation and maintaining low energy prices. Under his administration, the U.S. became a net exporter of oil and natural gas, a milestone he frequently highlights as a significant achievement. Trump contends that fracking has been instrumental in revitalizing the American energy sector and reducing reliance on foreign oil. Reproductive rights are a significant topic in this election, with both candidates holding contrasting views. Harris is a strong advocate for protecting access to abortion and reproductive health care, viewing it as a fundamental right. She supports legislation to safeguard these rights at the federal level and has pledged to codify Roe v. Wade into law. Harris believes that women should have the autonomy to make decisions about their own bodies and that access to reproductive health care is essential for gender equality. Trump, on the other hand, has positioned himself as a pro-life candidate, advocating for restrictions on abortion access and supporting judicial appointments that align with conservative values on this issue. His administration has taken steps to limit federal funding for organizations that provide abortions and has expressed support for state-level restrictions. Trump argues that protecting the unborn is a moral imperative and that states should have the authority to regulate abortion. When discussing crime and gun violence, Harris emphasizes community safety and gun control measures, including universal background checks and assault weapon bans. She believes in addressing the root causes of crime through social programs and community investment, advocating for a holistic approach to public safety. Harris has also supported initiatives aimed at reducing gun violence, particularly in urban areas, and has called for increased funding for community policing programs. Trump argues for a tough-on-crime approach, advocating for increased funding for law enforcement and opposing gun control measures that he believes infringe on Second Amendment rights. He has frequently criticized calls for gun control, asserting that responsible gun ownership is a constitutional right. Trump emphasizes the need to support law enforcement agencies and has proposed measures to combat violent crime, particularly in cities experiencing spikes in gun violence. Foreign policy is a critical area where Harris and Trump diverge significantly, particularly in light of current global conflicts. Harris has committed to supporting Ukraine against Russian aggression, asserting that the US will back Ukraine for as long as necessary. She emphasizes the importance of international alliances and multilateral cooperation, viewing the conflict in Ukraine as a pivotal moment for democracy in Europe. Harris has also called for increased financial assistance to Ukraine and has represented the US at peace talks, advocating for a strong stance against authoritarianism. In contrast, Trump has expressed skepticism about continued US involvement in Ukraine, suggesting that he could resolve the conflict through negotiations with Russia. His America First approach prioritizes national interests over international commitments, leading to concerns that his policies could embolden authoritarian regimes. Trump has historically maintained a complex relationship with Russia, at times praising Vladimir Putin, while also supporting sanctions in response to Russian aggression. The situation in Gaza further complicates the foreign policy landscape. Harris has affirmed Israel's right to self-defense, while also highlighting the humanitarian crisis faced by Palestinians. She has called for a two-state solution and emphasized the need for a balanced approach that considers the rights and needs of both Israelis and Palestinians. Harris's position reflects a commitment to diplomacy and humanitarian principles, although critics argue that her policies may lack specificity in terms of actionable outcomes. Trump, while positioning himself as a strong ally of Israel, has been less vocal about addressing the humanitarian situation in Gaza. His foreign policy has often emphasized military support for Israel without a clear plan for resolving the ongoing conflict. This approach raises questions about the long-term implications for US relations in the Middle East and the prospects for peace. As the 2024 election approaches, the contrasting policies of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will play a crucial role in shaping the future of the United States. Their differing approaches to the economy, immigration, energy, reproductive rights, crime, and foreign affairs highlight the fundamental choices facing American voters. If you found this analysis helpful, be sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so you never miss an update, and join our community. See you in the next video.